Welcome to Lisa's Family Table. Russell, what are we going to cook today?
Oh, we're cooking one of my favorites, Lisa. We're cooking prime rib on the smoker.
It's my favorite too when you cook it for me.
Oh, it's great. And we're going to use Lisa's steak rub today as our primary seasoning, along with a few other things. It's about a 3-hour dish, but boy, is it worth it. When you taste it, it's amazing.
LSR is good for so many things, and this is a great example of that, where we're going to take the LSR and add some fresh herbs, and it's going to be a wonderful smoked prime rib, for a special family gathering.
Yeah.
This is a 4-rib prime rib roast, and it's always interesting to me because I think a lot of people get confused. They think prime rib roast is a prime cut. It doesn't have to be a prime cut. This is a premium choice cut, but they call it prime rib because it's one of the 9 primal cuts of the cow. And this is coming from the rib section. We've asked our butcher to French the bones so they're clean. We cleaned them up a little bit more ourselves, and we had them separate the bones. So this is a bone-in standing rib roast. Now you can do this boneless as well, but I actually really prefer it with the bone.
I think it adds a lot of flavor too. I think
do
just
too.
The bones themselves, just cooking, they add a lot of flavor.
And the key with a prime rib, as we all know, what we love about it is that crust. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put together some ingredients. We're going to rub it on here so when it smokes, it's going to create that beautiful crust. So I've just got my mini chopper here, and having my steak rub already is going to save you from having to go buy 7 or 8 different ingredients. This has all kinds of umami in it. It's got black garlic, it's got paprika, it's got roasted garlic, it's got salt and pepper, it's got all the things that you need to make that beautiful crust. So I'm going to start off with a 1/2 cup of that steak rub and put it in my chopper here. And then I'm going to take 1/4 cup of rosemary. What I've done is I've taken the rosemary leaves off of the woody stalks. I'm going to put that in here. And I've got some garlic. And you can buy the garlic already peeled to save yourself some time, which is what I did. And I'm going to put that in there. And it's a lot of garlic, but this, you've got a pretty large roast here, and you want to make sure that you're flavoring it. And as I mentioned, we've separated the bones, so we're going to rub that too. So we've got all of our ingredients in here. I'm going to give it a pulse first. There we go. And just get the rosemary broken up with the garlic. That looks great. And then I'm going to pour my oil in, which is about a 1/2 cup of oil. Use a good olive oil. This is an extra virgin olive oil. I like it, and it's going to go great on here. This looks great. And then I'm going to take my mustard, and this is a good quality Dijon mustard. It's really more a binder than it is anything. So you're not going to taste the Dijon mustard, but it will give it some added complexity. The key to this is make sure that you get the inside flap. Okay, we're doing that. And this is a pretty significant piece of meat, so you do want to make sure you're liberal. All right, so I'll let you go ahead and do that while I move this over here.
I think it's best to just start on the inside. We're going to just take some of this in our hand, and we're just going to just start rubbing it in here. Like Lisa was saying, you want to be somewhat liberal with this because this is a big piece of meat. You're going to roast it. This is going to make a great crust on the outside. So we want to rub it all over real well.
And then we're going to truss it. And I'm going to truss it because we have separated the bones. But I will say that even if I wasn't using a bone-in ribeye, I would still truss it because I would want to hold the shape of it. You can get super sophisticated in your tying. I've never been great at doing that. I'm going to do a string in between each of the bones. I'm going to do 3, and I'm going to do a butcher's knot on them. So I'm going to cut 3 strings here, and then we're going to lay these out, just lay them out like this, and then we're going to truss that up, and then we're going to put it in the pan here, and we're going to get it with more LSR. And then it's going to go straight to the smoker. I got the first one here. So I'm going to go around once, and I'm going to go around twice. Have you ever tried to tie something, and you got to get everybody's finger in there, and everybody's trying to do it? So if you tie it twice, it'll hold. See how it's holding like that? And that way you're not, yelling in the other room saying, somebody come over here, I need your finger, I can't get it tied. So we're just going to do like that twice and pull and then tie it again. And you want it to be tight, but not like where it just forms the shape of the roast itself. what we're doing is we're building the foundation for an outstanding crust. It's a very thick piece of meat, so you're not going to overdo it. Anything extra is going to fall off. And you just want to pat it. And there's that. Why don't you tell them what you're going to do with the pan with the vegetables on the smoker?
I cut up some vegetables last night. A little bit of parsley, celery, onions, carrots. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some beef broth on here.
And some wine.
And some wine.
My favorite.
And I'm going to use this instead of a water pan in our smoker. This is going to be what we're going to use, and we're going to capture all the juices that are coming out of this roast. It's going to make an amazing au juice.
The drippings, as Russell mentioned, they're going to come down into the pan. I'm going to strain that off later, and I'm going to put it in a saucepan, and I'm going to take a tablespoon of soft butter with a tablespoon of flour, and I'm going to mix those together, and I'm going to whisk that in to the sauce. But the key to au jus is you don't want it to be thick, but you do want it to have a little bit of body to it. So taking that little bit of flour, that little bit of butter will, richen it up like that.
We're using hickory today. We're going to have a nice hickory taste, nice smoky flavor. We're going to smoke this roast for about an hour at about 225. Then we're going to take the temperature to 275, and we're going to cook it for probably about another hour and a half, and then it should be done. We're looking for a temperature internal of about 120 to 124.
And we're going to let it rest for 30 minutes. The key to pulling it off, we're going to put a probe in this in the center. We want that center to be that rare to medium rare. The edges will be more done. And the great news is, you've always got people in your family, I want mine more done, so you cut theirs from the edges, and then the more rare pieces are in the middle, and we'll show that to you when we pull it off the smoker. Okay, everybody, Russell went to go take the prime rib out to the smoker, and I have to say I'm so excited. But I also want to show you how to make a quick horseradish sauce. You can certainly buy it, but I like this fresh version myself because you're going to see how simple it is. So we're going to use a half a cup of good quality mayonnaise and put it in our bowl. This is so simple, you won't believe how easy it is. And then we're going to do a third of a cup of the sour cream. Third of the cup of the sour cream. Okay. And then we're going to do 2 tablespoons of the Dijon mustard. And then we need a horseradish. This atomic horseradish is what I'm using, so I'm going to use a little less than the recipe that we're going to post in the link below because this is actually a lot hotter. I'm known for how hot I like my food, so I don't mind it if it's scorching hot, but we're going to put some in here, a couple tablespoons. And then we're just going to stir that up. It's going to be delicious. And I also like lemon in just about everything I do. So I come down on the side of the lemon like this, because that way I'm not going to put seeds in anything and I don't have to worry about the seeds. Just take a little bit of the lemon juice. It helps thin it out some too, which I like, and it gives a little bit more flavor. Okay, put a little pinch of salt in it. Okay. And then I'm just going to whisk it up a little bit, and then we're going to put it in a bowl and cover it up and put it in the refrigerator for when we're ready to have our dinner. Just whisk it till it's kind of smooth and you got the lumps out of it. To me, prime rib's got to have a horseradish sauce. And once you make your own, and you can see how simple that was, once you make your own, I don't think you'll ever want to go buy a prepackaged horseradish sauce because this is so much better. And when we have our dinner, we'll have our beautiful sauce. It's just going to be a lovely meal.
Look at this, Lisa. Doesn't it look pretty?
Russell, the crust is perfect. We were telling everybody earlier that the crust is the most important part. And using the LSR with some fresh herbs and garlic, I mean, it's perfect. Let's cut the string off so they can get a full view of this thing.
Okay.
Plus, it gets me closer to eating it. We pulled this off the smoker at 124 degrees. Actually, you pulled it at 122, right?
Right.
And when we say 122 degrees, we had the probe in the center of the roast. So we're going to be closer to medium on the ends, and we're going to be closer to rare in the middle. Yeah. And that will satisfy all of your guests. And when we cut this, we're going to cut it in the middle so you can see what we have. I mean, this will be the star of any holiday table or gathering with a family. Oh my goodness, it's perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut it off the bone first. Don't throw these bones away, please. What we're going to do is we're going to put these over here I like to take the bones and use those to make a beef barley soup, and we'll share that with you in another video. But look at this. Oh, it's perfect. Look at the juice. It's perfect. Will you cut me a slice to go on this plate here? I want to show them with the horseradish sauce we made earlier. So if you cut the bones off, not only can you reserve those bones to make other things with, but then it's easier to slice this up. And like we said, this is a 4-bone roast. It was about 7 pounds. And we planned about 12 minutes per pound on the smoker. And doing that gave us, what was it about? You did a smoking time for an hour and then 2 hours on the grill, on the smoker?
About right.
So total time of 3 hours. So if you sum it up, we pulled it out of the fridge for an hour. We seasoned it with the rosemary and Lisa steak rub and garlic that we showed you earlier, created a beautiful crust. We put it on, we smoked it for an hour. And then we turned up the temperature to 275, and we smoked it until we reached an internal temperature of 122 degrees. We got some horseradish sauce that we made earlier. And if you have the au jus, you put that on there too. Do you mind if I do the honors? I can't wait.
Go right ahead.
I'm gonna cut right into that. Plus I'm gonna get some of that crust. Cut it, bring it over here, and get a little horseradishy sauce. Oh my God. Russell. Oh my goodness, Russell, you outdid yourself. The thing I like about it the most is it is so balanced. It's not too salty. It's not too herby. The crust is there. I get the crust. It's cooked beautifully. If I were to take a look at the ends of this, and I'm going to show you the end of this. So that's a perfect medium. So you get a perfect medium on that. And you're good and rare on the center of this. And you've got the sauce. You got a good au jus. This is what we would do for our Christmas family meal.
For a special meal.
For a special
I love prime rib. I mean,
it's your favorite, actually.
I know, yeah.
This has been prime rib from Lisa's Family Table. We can't wait to catch you in our next video.
We hope you enjoyed today. Subscribe to our channel and like this video. Thank you so much for watching.